question. Should you do holiday art for your webcomic? Personally, I always forget to make holiday art no matter what the holiday is. It always seems to sneak up on me, and I only remember to do it like 2 days before the actual holiday, or maybe on the holiday, and I'm usually too swamped with other work to do the cute little holiday art. Sometimes I'm annoyed by it because I was like, oh, I was going to do a really good April Fool's joke, or I was going to do a really cute Christmas art thing, but I forgot. And a lot of the times I will think like 6 months in advance, like, oh, I should make art for this upcoming holiday, and then it just slips my mind because it's not priority compared to like getting my pages done, or, getting something out that, like a video or so, I don't know, whatever. Other stuff that is higher priority gets in the way. So, if you have time, make holiday art. It's really fun, it's good vibes, people really get into it when they're feeling like the holiday spirit. If you don't have time to do it, don't worry about it. There's other stuff on your plate, worry about the big stuff, not the little stuff. Now, if you are making holiday-themed art for your comic, I think there's 2 approaches you can take to it. Number 1 is you can make it relatable outside of the context of your comic, and doing that will make it highly marketable, I guess. We discovered the benefits of this when we did a Father's Day comic, and I think a Halloween comic as well. There's 2. I think those are the days they came out. Anyways, they were for our comic, Pretty Mouth. The comics in question, I think the Halloween one, they were like mini comics. They were like maybe 4 panels long. The Halloween one was Little Rizzo as a kid talking to his goopy monster dad, and Rizzo pops out in this ghost costume and he's like, "Boo, Dad, did I scare you?" And, his dad like splashes him with goo and is like, "Oh, you little scamp." And it was really cute. And people really liked it. They thought it was adorable. You didn't have to read Pretty Mouth to understand it. The other one that we did, the Father's Day one, I think also got quite a bit of traction. And it was where Rizzo and his dad are talking, and Rizzo says like, "Dad, what's your name?" And he goes like, "I have many names." And Rizzo's like, "Well, what's one of them?" And the dad goes, "Dad," and hugs Rizzo. And it was really cute and very heartwarming and sweet. And you didn't have to understand like Rizzo or where his dad came from as this big goopy scary monster. You didn't have to understand like anything about the other characters in the comic and like the context of the world that Pretty Mouth takes place in. It's a very simple story between 2 characters, and people went crazy for it. It got a ton of shares and likes, and some of it translated into people finding Pretty Mouth and reading it. It did also help that we had quite a few fans for Pretty Mouth at the time, so it got a lot of shares among fans, but it also extended to people who weren't fans, who then came and followed Pretty Mouth. Now, it's hard to say exactly how much impact it had on our followers. We didn't keep track of any of the metrics there, but, when you're starting out, any traction is good. And it was really fun to make. It felt really good to get that kind of attention, especially early on. It was fun. So doing stuff that is just like #relatable can get you places. So if you have any like illustrations or mini comics about your comic that can stand kind of like without understanding the world or the context, like of the comic, I would highly recommend them. You're likely to reach more people than you would otherwise. And on the flip side, number 2, what you can also do is make things that are super relatable to only your fans. Whatever it is, you need context of the greater story to get it, or the world. It could be an inside joke from the comic. It could be very specific to your character's personalities, where people need to know, like, their arc to get it. Or it could be about the world building, whatever it is. Now, these are really great if you have, like, a following. They'll be super excited for it. However, a wider group of people who haven't read your comic probably will glance over it, especially if you're just starting out. We actually ran into this with a Mother's Day comic that we did of Amanda and Rizzo. We put it out, I think, before we posted the Magpie, so no one had any context to who Amanda was if they hadn't, like, listened to me and Bones talk on, like, a rare live stream about how Amanda is Rizzo's mom. So most people didn't get it. It was just Amanda meeting little baby Rizzo and being like, "Oh my god, you're my son," and crying. And so people who understood it were like, "Oh my god, so cute." But people who didn't just glanced by it because they're like, "Oh, I don't get it. This doesn't make sense." So yeah, it can be really great for your fans. might not pick up traction elsewhere. So, and they both have their pros and cons, both approaches. Choose whichever works for you, or do both. If you have time on your hands, do some A/B testing and put out both. I guess that's not A/B testing, but, try both of them. Try doing a really relatable one, and try doing a really obscure, specific context of your comic one. And see what lands. See what works for you. You never know. Another possible outcome for doing, the not #relatable one is you can spark intrigue about your comic, but I don't have any expertise on that, so if that's ever happened to us, it's been a fluke, I think. I don't know. I don't have the data to tell you that. So if you're thinking of making holiday art, there's so much stuff you can do. You can do mini comics, like I've talked about here. You can do simple illustrations. You could do Q&As of your characters. That's a really simple one to do. You collect a bunch of questions and have your characters answer them. They could be holiday related. It could be super cute. Heck yeah. So do whatever's easiest for you. Try out something new. If you've always wanted to do a pretty illustration, holiday art is always a good time to try it out. Gives you an excuse. Go out there and have fun, my friendos. Feel the good holiday vibes. I guess, speaking of holidays, if you want to make me and Bones really happy for Christmas, you can go to our store and buy our comics. We have a Gumroad for our ebooks and an Etsy for our print books and other merch, so go check it out. Bring us some holiday joy, I guess. That's all I got. Goodbye. Stay cozy, friends.